2020 was like surprise anal. You didn't ask for it, and that ain't shit everywhere.
Yeah, I'm with Biscuit. This year's been absolutely terrible, and I think we could all really use a laugh right now. So I think we need to just step back a little bit and put 2020 right where it belongs. The dirty, sweaty plumber's crack of history. But how are we going to do it?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome one and all to the roast of 2020.
We do it Comedy Central style, only really scuffed. I'll bet you never guess where I got the cardboard for this podium. Take a guess. Leave it in the comments below. I bet you won't get it. Now, clearly, I'm your host for this ridiculous event that, believe it or not, may actually become an annual thing. I think I might do this every year. This has been a lot of fun to plan. Because I can't do a roast alone, so I'm bringing some friends along.
So Internet Unwind asked me what I thought of this year, and to be honest, I would rather have been born in 1900. Fight in World War I, Roaring Twenties. Great Depression, fight in World War II. Then experience the 50s and 60s in my 50s and 60s. Enjoy my twilight years with the modern conveniences of the 70s, and die in the 80s before all this COVID bullshit begins.
Thank you, Brother Lynad. Or Casey. Who gets credit for that? I think Lynad's been hanging out with John too much. Who cares? Welcome everybody to the Scuffed Roast of 2020. Tonight we will not be poking fun lovingly at a creator that we love and respect. Instead, this is YouTube. We're going to bully this year like it's about to graduate from 5th grade. For example, this year has been like Mom's abusive boyfriend. No one likes him, all he did is take from us, and then in the end, Mom is finally deciding to leave him. This year couldn't have been worse if it was under the pineapple on the pizza. You got dough, sauce, riots, wildfires, Corona, pineapple. And even though it cost more than any you've had before, it just tasted absolutely terrible.
2020, the year we found out that strippers can count paper faster than the state of Nevada can count votes.
Diva, ladies and gentlemen. Now, have you heard about Rooster Teeth and all the employees they've had to let go this year? Like 10 let go this year alone. Apparently, inappropriate behavior spreads there like a virus. They should have been social distancing those hands. Speaking of which, remember when you thought Critical's rubber dick was going to be the biggest of the year? Who knew you could have said any of these people or things and it would have been just as valid?
2020 can fist a fire ant hill with no gloves. It can trip into a black hole for all I care. Frick this year.
Much appreciated, Wombat. Now, I have a small list here. There's a lot of negative things that happened this year, but let's look at some positive takeaways from the year as well. Nintendo Switch, $300. A Switch game is $60, but knowing what Smash player to never let near your kids, priceless. Because of the toilet paper shortage this year, a lot of people had to resort to buying bidets, so we're a little bit greener, I guess. But that being said, it was a side effect of coronavirus, and thanks to the coronavirus, if 2020 was a kid in school, it'd be the kid with lice that no one wants to be around. And then the kid also turned out to be a school shooter.
Alright, which one of you piped up saying, oh, 2020 won't be any worse than 2019, oh. You know it's bad when 2016 legends Leafy is here and Grade A Under A come back from the dead just to dip again. It has sucked harder than a cheap whore that was promised a crack rock. Wonder how Kathy is doing these days. When Jake asked me to help roast 2020, I thought that was more than fair, seeing as 2020 has done plenty of roasting in Australia and California. Thank God it didn't attack anywhere of intelligent life, at least. Let's be real, 2020 was so full of crap it made me envious of coma patients. One positive we can take away from this at least is that we can see the hypocrisies of all the Karens of the world. Sure, a thin piece of cloth stops you from breathing, yet somehow you can manage with all that crap coming out of it. Of course, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, after all, the predictions showed many more millions of deaths. Fortunately so far though, much like Vorsh's wish list, the fucking has only been minor. For real though, if 2020 was a person, you'd be having a hard time trying to figure out if Mummy didn't love him enough or if Uncle Chester loved him just a little too much. And honestly, couldn't the drama have at least tried a little harder to be a bit more entertaining while we were all locked up inside? It was so bland and unoriginal, I almost mistook it for a Teddy Fresh hoodie. Although plenty of people were ready to copy all of that too, so maybe we do just like boring and basic. Although looking back now, I can't help but feel like it's been more disappointing than anything else. We were promised to get our backs blown out, but in the end 2020 was a one-pump chum, blew its load in the first stroke, and now we're just sitting around awkwardly in silence, actually watching Netflix. Seriously, if 2020 was any more of a disappointment, it'd be a member of the E-Boys podcast. Though let us just take a moment to remember the true victims of this year. The sorry souls that have received unfathomable damage, and cast a salute of respect to the sorry individuals who had to listen to all the celebrities sing their shitty songs pretending to act like they were having just as much of a hard time as the rest of the world. That facade broke down faster than Shane Dawson on a live stream. But if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we should never break when we get hit hard. Instead, we should bounce harder than we have ever bounced before. Harder than Chris Hansen's checks after he received his go-ahead for a new show.
Thank you, Craig. That won't be hard to follow whatsoever. There was an election this year, and nothing I could write would make it a bigger joke. All right, you know what? No, I got a better one. Harvey Weinstein, he's still trying really hard to get out of jail, but just like all of our social lives, he's screwed. Only for him, it's twice daily in the shower. You know, sadly, we lost a lot of celebrities this year. Thankfully, only a handful to COVID, and even less to helicopter crashes. There's a rabbit running around the set. Excuse me, this is supposed to be a closed set. Anyone know where this wild animal came from?
2020 was so shit that the biggest highlights of 2020 came right after the relief of taking a massive shit. 2020 was so shit that if Gordon Ramsay had to critique it, he would have done it in a physical way like Jake Paul with Nate Robinson. 2020 was so shit that when I watched my nan die because of Corona, that wasn't even the lowest point. No, the lowest point was when I found out that the new generation thinks the D'Amelio family has talent. 2020 was so shit that it couldn't even beat the number of deaths during the Holocaust.
Thank you, Twoon. You know, it occurs to me as we celebrate this ridiculous dumpster fire of a year coming to an end that a lot of people seem to think that the turning of the calendar page is actually going to bring about change. But in all reality, we know more about Pyrocynical's sex life than we do the end of this pandemic. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. Please check everyone's links out in the description below, and while you're down there, consider smacking a couple of those buttons, preferably not the flag button. I'd like to keep that one nice and pristine if you don't mind. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and please have yourself a happy 2021. And as always, a huge shout out to the patron saints, Bo Blacks, John Swan, This Is Ewan, Alex, Lady Zubat, Master Roshi, Logan Lotion, Pantsless Gamers, and Paul Wentworth. Thank you, everybody, for all of the extra support.